Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Chris Burns again with Chris Burns Mentoring through the Heart Center. You caught me at a good time. I was actually just looking over some of my notes I took today from a meditation that I had, and I was struck with the realization that boundaries and walls are two different things. You hear a lot of people talk about having healthy boundaries, and people who actually have walls built up that they don't really allow people in, and it's kind of they use them as a defense mechanism. So this video is going to be about the difference between a boundary and a wall and how they each work, and how having a healthy set of boundaries is different than having walls built up. So the first thing I want to draw attention to is that a healthy person has boundaries, and boundaries are different than walls. So a lot of people have walls built up. I'll explain in a second what walls are, but before that, let's kind of decode what it means to have healthy boundaries and why that's important. Um, a person who has healthy boundaries is able to be very introspective. They're able to look at the world and look at their circumstances and say, this is working for me, this is what I want, and this is how I want to be in the world. These are things that I allow into my life, and these are things and circumstances that I don't allow into my life. So an example of that is maybe the people you're around and that kind of energy that you allow to come into your presence, and if you're willing to put up with that. So if you're around people who are constantly draining you, who are constantly talking about negative things and things that just weigh you down, make you feel heavy, and you put up with it and you don't really do anything to change it, although you know it makes you feel bad, chances are you don't have very strong boundaries. So what does it take to kind of develop strong boundaries in a core self, in a core value system? What it takes is being able to dissect yourself and know what it is you need and know what it is you want. So someone who has healthy boundaries is different than someone who has walls built up. Someone who has healthy boundaries is able to know themselves on a level that they have faced their uncomfortable moments and faced their not issues but their problems and things that make them feel uncomfortable, and they're able to say no to it. But they're also able to take a look at the things that don't make them feel good, that don't make them feel loved or appreciated, and it's not that they're not afraid of it, they just don't go into it at a level that it becomes part of their everyday life. They say no. Healthy people with healthy boundaries say no, and you don't need to explain why you're saying no. Now, a person who has walls doesn't allow anything in, and these walls all stem from the same thing as having healthy boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries um, stem from being able to be introspective, like I said, and be able to understand what it is you want and what it is you don't want. Now, having a wall up is indicative of someone trying to protect themselves because they don't know what it is they want and they don't know what it is they need. So they put up these walls, these defense mechanisms to protect themselves because they haven't yet learned how to go deeper within themselves and really take a look at maybe some insecurities, some troublesome thoughts or ideas, their fears. All those fears and insecurities are there, but they don't want to take the time, or they haven't taken the time to look at it truly and truly understand it. So a person who has walls put up will just be more closed off. They won't be as open-minded. They won't be as open, period. They'll hear a new idea or a new thought, and if there's any ounce of fear in there, they'll back off right away. Now, a person with boundaries may hear the same idea or same thought and be able to look at it, observe it, feel it, and then decide whether or not it's good for them to accept this. A person with walls doesn't accept it, whether it's good or bad. They don't even look at it. They say, "Oh, nope, I'm not comfortable with that. That's some new information. That's different that I'm used to. I'm just gonna shove it away." And in my opinion, the reason why having walls built up is less beneficial than having healthy boundaries is because you close yourself off. You're not open. You're not willing to explore yourself on a deeper level. A person who has healthy boundaries is able to go deeper within themselves, look at the information that they've been provided with, see how it resonates with their soul, and then say yes or no. If it's new information, they'll take a look at it. If it's old information, they'll decide whether it still fits into who they are and who they're looking to become. And they're not afraid. A person with walls often has experienced something where they become closed off and they don't want to look at the pain anymore, and they just said, no, I'm good. So that is a brief description of how you can decide whether or not you have boundaries or walls. In my opinion, boundaries are healthy and they allow you to go deeper within yourself and have more self-control, more self-awareness, because you've allowed yourself to look at things that make you feel uncomfortable and then decided whether or not you still want them there. Those are boundaries. You don't have to accept everything. You can pick and choose what it is you want to accept in your life. Walls are defense mechanisms built up to protect ourselves. But often we don't know what we're protecting ourselves from because we haven't looked at it. So I think it's time for us to all break down our walls and set up some boundaries. So this is Chris Burns again from the Heart Center with Chris Burns Mentoring. You can head on over to my Twitter page at Chris Burns 1025, my Instagram at Chris Burns 1025. And if you can't find me there, go on over to chrisburnsmentoring.com and let me know what you thought of this video, and we'll chat more. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Bye.